Stephen Curry did not just become the greatest shooter ever, he turned shooting into a defensive emergency. In 2015-16, Curry hit 402 threes when no player had ever reached 300 in one season before him. He did it while shooting 45.4% from deep, averaging 30.1 points per game and becoming the first unanimous MVP in NBA history. But the scary part was never just the number, it was the distance. Curry could pull defenders 25 or 30 feet away from the basket. One late step meant a clean three. One early double team meant Golden State suddenly had a layup, a dunk, or a wide-open corner shooter. That is what made his shooting overpowered. Curry did not even need the ball to damage a defense. His presence alone bent the floor before the possession really started. LeBron James turned longevity into a skill. On February 7, 2023, at 38 years old, he passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and became the NBA's all-time scoring leader. Most superstars are already declining by that age. LeBron was still carrying offenses, attacking the rim, reading double teams, and producing like a first option. The absurd part is the scale. He became the only player with 40,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. He played more than 1,400 regular season games and more than 280 playoff games while still averaging roughly 27, 7, and 7 across his career. His overpowered skill was not one move. It was durability, adaptation, and physical maintenance stretched across 2 decades. Every era changed around him. The league got faster, smaller, and more spaced out. LeBron simply kept adjusting and somehow stayed near the center of it. Wilt Chamberlain turned rebounding into possession theft. In 1960-61, he averaged 27.2 rebounds per game, the highest single-season mark in NBA history. He finished his career at 22.9 rebounds per game and 23,924 total rebounds, both all-time records. Those numbers look unreal even after adjusting for the faster pace of the 1960s. But the point is not just that more shots were available. Wilt swallowed a huge share of everything that missed. Offensive boards, defensive boards, traffic rebounds, weak side rebounds. He turned empty possessions into repeat chances and ended opponent possessions before they could breathe. That is why the skill was overpowered. A normal rebounder helps a team survive. Wilt controlled the supply of possessions itself. When he owned the glass, the scoreboard slowly became a math problem the other team could not solve, because one missed shot rarely meant one finished possession. Shaquille O'Neal made interior scoring feel unfair. In the 2000 NBA Finals, he averaged 38 points and 16.7 rebounds per game against Indiana, and the Pacers never found a real answer. That season, he won MVP while scoring 29.7 points per game on 57% shooting. The skill was not complicated. Shaq got deep position, caught the ball near the rim, and turned every possession into a physical emergency. At around 7 feet 1 and over 325 pounds, single coverage was basically surrender. Double teams came late. Triple teams only created open shooters. The twist was that teams invented an entire survival tactic for him. Hack-a-Shaq was not normal defense. It was desperation disguised as strategy. Even with intentional fouls, he still broke coverages, bent spacing, and made every opponent choose between giving up dunks, free throws, or panic rotations all night over and over. Michael Jordan turned the mid-range jumper into a weapon defenses knew was coming and still could not remove. In 1996-97, he shot 49.2% from 10 to 16 feet and 48.9% from 16 to 23 feet, far above normal efficiency for that zone. Modern analytics would call those shots bad math. Jordan made them a death sentence. He did not need constant threes to score 30 every night. He used jab steps, post-ups, fadeaways, sudden stops, and balance that let him release before defenders could recover. From 1987 to 1993, he averaged 33.4 points per game, built largely on that same space. The twist is that Jordan dominated with the exact shot modern basketball tried to erase. For most players, mid-range volume was inefficient. For him, it was controlled punishment. Once he got to his spot, the defense was already late. Subscribe for more NBA breakdowns like this. James Harden made isolation scoring look like an entire offensive system. In 2018-19, he averaged 36.1 points per game, the highest scoring season since Michael Jordan's 37.1 in 1986-87. Houston gave him the ball, spaced the floor, and let him hunt matchups until defenses broke. The move was predictable, but the result was not. Harden used step-back threes, left-hand drives, foul pressure, and late passing reads to punish every coverage. Trap him and shooters got open. Stay home and he walked into a three or free throws. Isolation is supposed to be the hardest way to score. Harden turned it into repeatable offense every night at historic volume. That forced opponents to defend one man like a full playbook, not a single scorer anymore. Nikola Jokic turned the center position into an offensive control room. A near 7-foot big man is usually asked to screen rebound post-up or finish near the rim. Jokic does all of that, then adds passing at a point guard level. The scary part is that defenses have no clean choice. Play him one-on-one and he scores with hooks, floaters soft touch, or jumpers. Send a double team and he instantly finds cutters, corner shooters, or teammates slipping behind the defense. His passes come from the elbow, the high post, the low block, even while his back is turned. The twist is the slowness. Jokic does not need speed to break a defense. He only needs to see the mistake before it happens. By the time the help defender moves, the pass is usually already gone. Hakeem Olajuwon did not just block shots. He erased offensive ideas. Hakeem finished his career with 3,830 blocks, the most in NBA history, while averaging 3.1 blocks per game. But calling him a rim protector still undersells what he was. What made Hakeem different was his defensive range. He could reject shots at the basket, then step out, cut off a passing lane strip, a guard, or survive switches where normal centers became targets. He is still the only player ever to record more than 200 blocks and more than 200 steals in the same season. Hakeem did not defend one area, he defended the entire possession. For Houston, he was not just protecting the rim, he was making every offensive decision feel dangerous, rushed, and slightly wrong. Dirk Nowitzki turned one shot into an unsolvable problem. In the 2011 NBA Finals against the Miami Heat, with LeBron James, Dwyane Wade, and Chris Bosh, Dirk averaged 26 points per game and carried the Dallas Mavericks to the championship. The centerpiece was the one-legged fadeaway. At 7 feet tall, Dirk already had a massive release point. When he leaned back, lifted one leg, and faded away from contact, the contest almost disappeared. Big men were too slow to match the footwork. Wing defenders were too small to bother the release. The twist was the simplicity. This was not a complicated combo. It was one shot repeated thousands of times until the whole league knew it was coming and still had no real answer. Allen Iverson turned ball handling into survival in a league of giants. In 2001, he was 6 feet tall and roughly 165 pounds, yet averaged 31.1 points per game, won MVP, and dragged the Philadelphia 76ers to the NBA Finals without another All-Star beside him. Everything started with the handle. The crossover hesitation in and out and violent change of direction gave Iverson separation without screens, without a perfect system, and without a clean mismatch. Defenders knew he was attacking. They still got pulled off balance. The twist was his size. Iverson did not have a physical advantage. He turned that disadvantage into the weapon itself. Every time he dropped the dribble low, the entire defense had to bend with him, and once they leaned, he was already gone. Kobe Bryant turned difficult shots into normal offense. On January 22, 2006, he scored 81 points against the Toronto Raptors, the third highest single-game scoring total in NBA history. But the terrifying part was not just the number. It was how he got there. Kobe lived on fadeaways, turnarounds, pull-ups, contested jumpers, and shots most coaches would call bad possessions. For him, those were working conditions. Defenses tried to force him into harder looks. The problem was that hard looks were exactly where he became most dangerous. The twist was psychological. Kobe did not need a clean shot to believe the shot was his. He built an entire career inside the spaces other scorers avoided. Double teams, late clocks, bad angles, hands in his face that was not the trap. That was the stage. Luka Doncic turned slow pace into a weapon. In 2023-24, he averaged 33.9 points, 9.2 assists, and 9.8 rebounds per game, then led the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals at 25 years old. But Luka does not dominate by being faster than everyone else. He does the opposite. He slows the game down, freezes defenders in waiting mode, then uses hesitations, rhythm changes, body angles, and sudden pauses to make them react wrong. In pick and roll, Luka reads the help defender, the weak side corner, then chooses the shot pass or drive. The twist is that Luka does not win through pure athletic explosion. He wins by forcing the entire game to move at his speed, and once that happens, every defender is already a step late. These players did not just have better skills than everyone else. They had skills powerful enough to force the NBA to adjust defenses, team building, and sometimes the entire way the game was understood.